So we're privileged to have a chance once again to do Kabbalat Shabbat together in a very distant but internet kind of way. And we want to thank Yedida and Michael for sharing their wisdom. And we're going to open it up with Yedida, who has authored several books, and she's an amazing educator, and she's been teaching people of spot in the world about Kabbalah of Ashnag. Going to share a little bit with us now.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to welcome the angels. Okay, this is how we begin. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet. Welcome, you ministering angels. Welcome the angels of on high, the ones who serve the Supreme King of Kings, the Holy One, blessed be who. Welcome into our homes. Bless us. Sit with us. Stay with us. And then, when it's time, move on. Welcome the angels. And then there's a beautiful prayer. Master of the universe, Ribon Kol Olamim, Lord of all souls, Master of peace, mighty King, blessed King, great King, the King who speaks peace, the majestic King, the pure King, the King who gives life to all worlds, the King who is good and does good, who's unique and single, who is clothed in compassion, the King who supports the falling, the King who makes the creation every day, who delivers and redeems, who's beautiful and is holy, who is high and yet he hears our prayers, who's perfect in his ways. We give thanks before you, O Lord, our God, and God of our fathers, for all the loving kindnesses which you've dealt with us, and which you're going to deal with us, with myself, with our household, with all your created beings, the children of your covenant. Blessed are your holy angels, your pure angels, who do your work, who do your will. Master of peace, King of peace, bless us with your peace, and visit us and all our household and all your people Israel for a good and peaceful life. The highest King, who is master over all the heavenly angels, who creates the creation, we plead before you that you give us light and all our household, that we may find favour and good understanding in your eyes and in the eyes of all the children of Adam and Eve, and all those who see us, and that we may all serve you. Merit us to receive this Shabbat and all Shabbatot with great joy and with honour, with lessening of sins, and take away from all your people Israel and from all the people in the world any types of illness or any types of poverty or poorness. And may we have a good inclination to serve you in truth and in love, and may we be respected to you and in the eyes of all who see us. May we welcome your Shabbat in love. Angels of peace, welcome in peace, bless us in peace, and bless our table which is laid for you in peace. So that's the welcome. And now I translated one of the songs that we sing on Shabbat, Ya Sof Noam Shabbat. It's a very beautiful song, and I wanted just to bring to you the beauty of this song. It's a Hasidic song. It was composed by Rabbi Aaron of Karlin, and I think it's just beautiful. Ya Sof Noam Shabbat. O God, I long for the pleasantness of Shabbat. It is so in tune. It is so one with your essence. Draw the sweetness of your awe to us, your people who long for you. Sanctify us in the holiness of the Shabbat which is one with your Torah. Open to us its pleasantness, and give us the desire to open the gates that will please you. O God, I long for the pleasantness of Shabbat. It is so in tune. It is so one with your essence. Let us be among those who keep your holy Shabbat and who long for it, just like a deer who's longing for the streams of water. Yes, our souls long to receive the pleasantness of Shabbat, the Shabbat which is united in your holy name. Save us from separating in any way from the Shabbat, and so that the 6 weekdays that will follow will also be able to receive their holiness, the holiness that comes from your holy Shabbat. Purify our hearts, we who long to serve you in truth and in faithfulness. O God, I long for the pleasantness of Shabbat. It is so in tune, it is so one with your essence. May your mercy cover your holy people, and may your compassion give water, as the river that went forth from Eden to those who are thirsty for your loving kindness. To crown Israel with the beauty as we glorify you through your holy Sabbath, grant us on all 6 days of the week to inherit the inheritance that Jacob our father bequeathed us. O God, I long for the pleasantness of Shabbat. It is so in tune, it is so one with your essence. The Shabbat, the ultimate of the delight of the souls, the 7th day that gives joy to all spirit. It is the Garden of Eden for all life. It is the moment when we become gentler and refined as we shelter in your love and in your awe. The holy Shabbat, in which we, the souls of Israel, take shelter under the shadow of your wings. We take refreshment from the choice portion of your house. O God, I long for the pleasantness of Shabbat. It is so in tune, it is so one with your essence. That's it. Okay? Ja, Echsof Noam Shabbat. Okay? Over to you.
Okay, I want to remind you, Yedida gives a class on Livnot Live on Thursday evenings. Yedida wrote a book on one of the major Kabbalist masters of the Ashlag.
Yeah,
and,
Rabbi Ashlag.
It's worth it to look her up and see a little bit of it. You get a taste of it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Mayor.
I'll post her site here on the side. Thank you, Yedida. And Chodesh Tov to everybody going into Elul. Whole new year is coming upon us. Hi, Diane.
Hi, Shabbat,
Henry.
Shabbat. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom.
Amazing people. Michael, you want to take us a little bit farther into Elul?
Can I suggest that, Michael, if you allow me, can I suggest that someone tells a Shabbat, Livnot Shabbat story, in between? Anybody want to do it? Marie, you're the earliest one, I think, here, right? Program number 3. Do you remember your first Shabbat?
No, I don't actually, but what I do remember was Shavuot. The first Shavuot celebration I had in my life was at Livnot, the summer of 1981, and we stayed up all night studying. It was wonderful, and it was an incredible, very unusual summer because, as you remember, Aaron, you were in the Miluim. And one of our Tiulim was going to your base in the Golan. Yeah. And also during our Lam Liam hike, we had to stop because there was shelling in the Galilee. And it was a wonderful, the whole thing was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, go ahead. Michael.
You want me to say more?
No, that's fine. But we want someone else to be on deck. Michael, you're going to?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Shalom, everyone. Good to see everyone's faces. this last week I had a chance to tour around and hike northern Israel with some families. And wherever we found agricultural fields, we found farmers that were tilling their land, and they were all getting ready for what is the most important agricultural moment of the year in Israel, which is, of course, rain. As we drove and we hiked by these fields, there was a special end-of-year smell in the air. And I whiffed it like some folks in the movies sniff glue, spiritual glue. Some of my group kind of made a face, and then I remembered not everybody likes the smell. It's the smell of manure. It reminded me of my farmer days, but it's offensive to folks who come from the city. So just to understand what's happening, after summer crops take all the nutrients out of the earth, the land is mineral hungry, and you simply cannot grow another season of crops if you don't give back to the land what you took out. And this is done by fertilizing. Organic farmers use compost, regular farmers use chemicals or a mixture of compost and chemicals, but you can't expect a good yield or good quality of crops if you don't invest in this important component of agricultural infrastructure. And it's like, it would be like asking a marathon runner to run after fasting, or a car to make it up just one more hill, even though there isn't a drop of fuel in the tank. But in our modern Western world, not that I'm against it, but manure is definitely not cool. In fact, many people cringe even when they hear the word. They prefer the word fertilizer. It's more palatable. But in the farming world, and certainly in the ancient world, manure was not a dirty word. In fact, the opposite is true, and it's true in Hebrew also. Zevel is the biblical Hebrew word that means to make better. In modern Hebrew, outside of the farming world, this is no longer true, and it has negative connotations. So when I want to better a field before the rainy season, I put fertilizer in it, or in Hebrew, I mizabel. I put zevel. I put something better in the land. So the Jezebel, Zevel, was actually a compliment. She's like an island of goodness, even though her actions, if you know about her life, Jezebel was somewhat problematic. But in Hebrew, it's a positive connotation. So for instance, our matriarch Leah, when she wanted to better her status, because she had a kind of a stormy relationship with Yaakov and Rachel and Leah, when she had her sixth child, she named him Zvulun, from the word Zevel. This time will have a better status in the eyes of my man. And one of the many names of our temple in Jerusalem, believe it or not, was Bet Zvul. If you wanted to better yourself, if you want to pray for a better world, if you wanted to better your relationship with the Creator, the temple was an appropriate place. Of course, from an environmental and philosophical angle, fertilizing is of enormous importance because you can't just take from the earth. One needs to tend it. One needs to invest in it. One needs to have the earth's best interest also in mind. And the idea of a sabbatical year to let the land just chill once every 7 years also falls into this category because it's a partnership. The farmer and the land have a rapport, and there's giving and taking like in any healthy relationship. It's not a button that the farmer presses and out of the machine comes fruits and vegetables. That's produce, a very problematic word, because produce is like, produce this for me, I own you, I tame you, you serve me. That won't work in farming, certainly not in long term. And it won't work in human relationships either. And that brings us to our own human kind of fertilizing the field. Today we celebrate, as Mayor said, the beginning of the month of Elul. It's exactly 1 month before Rosh Hashanah. And as opposed to most cultures, Judaism celebrates the New Year, not just with feasts and celebrations, but also with introspection and self-examination. But you can't just stop one fine day and say, okay, for 24 hours, I'll think about my actions this past year, make plans for the next year, and then go back to your regular scheduled programming. Because serious soul searching is not a moment. It's a process. You need to prepare for it. You need to get sight. You need to work out in the gym before you go to the event itself. Like love or education or relationships, it's a process and it takes time and you can't rush it. So we take an entire month, the month of Elul, in the Jewish tradition, the month before the rains come, and we fertilize our souls because we, along with the earth itself, also need to refill our tanks, recharge our batteries. But how do we do it? In the Jewish tradition, we do what the farmers do at the end of the year. They count what crops you had, and you find out what you spent, what crops you made, did you come ahead or not? And according to this and how you see your last year, you plan for your next year. But it isn't necessarily a fun process, because when we really look inside of ourselves, when we really take a look at our actions of the past year, there are mistakes we made, there are things we did perhaps selfishly, times we weren't as kind as we could have been, people perhaps we ignored that deserve more of our attention, and the list goes on and on. But even though this is not a fun process, it can be an energizing process. It gives you a roadmap for next year. It can motivate you to take a different path than last year's path. It can give you hope and optimism. It can give you strength to get through another year. And we need strength to get through another year. The entire world needs strength to get through another year. We, the human race, are officially tired. It's not just Zoom fatigue, it's life fatigue. This has taken a toll even on people who are physically very healthy. And if during this month and during the high holidays, we go through this process not alone, but with our communities, with our entire people, it can give us even more strength, because it's not that I'm a terrible person. We're all terrible people. I'm not, we're not terrible people. We're just humans, and humans err. But humans can also fix. And fixing, that's our job in this world. Tikkun olam. We're world fixers. But it starts not with the world, it starts with me, with us. So as we mark the one more month until the Rosh Hashanah date, we can all wish each other happy fertilizing.
Thank you, Michael. I hope you've showered before.
Michael asked me, Michael asked me to ask Laura to say about her first Shabbat. I'm so curious why he's asking you. So why don't we get to share it, to hear it?
Not exactly sure about that, as it's 20 years ago. Lucky I remember a lot right now, but what I will share is that really briefly, I know Shabbat's coming there. When I did Livnot, it was my first ever Jewish experience, even though I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, which people find hard to believe. How could you not be connected to Yiddishkeit? You're, in Brooklyn. But my Shabbat in Livnot was really my first in my life at 26, right at the cutoff at the time for birthright. And I just remember all those years ago, it was so new and I didn't know what to do and I didn't know what was expected. All I knew was that I felt something. I knew that I felt something different, and I felt a spirituality that I couldn't understand at the time. There was a certain energy in the air that you only have in Spot, of course. And I remember baking challah. I remember chicken. But I remember that there was a beauty there in our community. And of course, I remember a beautiful moment on the Livnot rooftop, which I had the amazing good fortune to go visit last year with my family. And the bottom line is that that experience at Livnot, that Shabbat, the entire time at Livnot, not to sound like this is an overly grand statement, but it really changed my life. I have 2 kids now that are 5 and 8, going to Jewish day school, and I want to give them what I never had. And it really all started because of the beautiful, very real, inspiring, amazing experiences that I had, not only during that first Shabbat, but at Livnot in general. And so I just want to thank all of you who have been involved. And I know so many of you on the call have been touched, and I feel deeply connected and grateful for those beautiful experiences.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you for sharing. I think, Arlen, you want to go to Eyal? Eyal, you ready?
Well, yeah, let me just remind everyone something. Laura did a birthright program with Livnot. Now, Bezrat Hashem, with the help of God, programs are starting in several months. I understand already people are coming from Mexico for some reason. But hopefully there'll be programs. And I just want to remind you guys, and I've said this before, but if you have any relatives coming on birthright, Livnot is one of the 6 official options after birthright. To do a 7-day extension with Livnot is amazing. And so if you have any relatives coming, then please let them know that they can come to Livnot. Okay, Eyal, you want to give us a little, a little introduction to Shabbat with maybe Yedid Nefesh. Mayor, do you want to put words up?
Well, I shared it in the link. If I put them up, we won't be able to see the sunset.
Uh-huh. Well, I don't want to go to the sunset yet because it's still too bright. You know, I'll try it. Tell me if it's too bright. And so, yeah, well, I asked people to bring songbooks. Now, I don't know how many people saw that and did it, but let me go out to the sunset.
Meanwhile, my twin brother Shachar, say hello.
Hey everyone.
Is it too bright?
No,
Is it too bright?
it's good.
It's good?
Lower it down a little bit.
Gorgeous.
Arlen, lower it a little bit.
What?
Lower it a little bit.
Lower it?
Yeah. Up. A little bit up.
Good?
Gorgeous.
There you go. That's good.
Okay, good.
Eyal, who's with you?
Hey, so my twin brother Shachar, and so like
I didn't know that we were singing Al Meron like this. I thought to make a little drawing of it.
so he's gonna do a drawing of Al Meron just to make a little bit more of the sense. Okay.
Beautiful. Thank you. A lot
Wow,
of these
can I, if I may, that was amazing. That
beautiful.
really brought me back to Spot. You know, and I hadn't had that feeling in a while. I was just sitting here, listening to that, seeing the sunset, and this warm breeze just came out through my window and just kind of completed the whole feeling. And that just blew me away. Thank you.
They can do that even from Jerusalem. That's pretty amazing.
Why don't we have one more Shabbat story, and let's let the sun go a little bit more down, and then let's do Lechadodi. What do you say? Ayal, what do you say? We have one more short Shabbat story, and then we'll let you finish with Lechadodi.
For sure, we have the same sun, so it's all.
And here we have Har Meron, and this is bringing, as Larry said, this is bringing people back to their first Shabbat. What Laura said, you know, this was it.
Aharon, is it
Yes.
just the Havrei that get a chance to talk about a Shabbat in Sfat?
No, Diane, of course. Let's hear
I
it.
know. Listen,
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up the wonderful Shabbat, Haron, that we had while our kids were living in Renana, and we came to spend time, and we had a beautiful dinner with you and Miriam, and we walked around Svat and the beauty and the dancing, you know, out on the terrace. and just watching the sun go down. And for my grandson, who's now going off to college in a couple of weeks, he was so touched by the experience that when we had some sort of fundraising event, he said, Savta, where do you want me to give my extra bar mitzvah money? I know it was so beautiful in, Spot with Livnot, and it just touched him. So I just think that for us was just a beautiful memory to be with our children who had decided to take close to 11 months out of their life in America and spend it in Israel.
Thank you, Diane.
Sure. It meant a lot to them.
Madge, we missed you on the reunion. Maybe you want to say something. Susie, when you guys want to say something about your
Hi, yeah. Sorry, I'm like making challah for Shabbat, so I'm in my kitchen. That's why my video is off. But it's been really, really lovely to just see with everyone. Livnot was transformative for me. I was in seminary in Jerusalem and was feeling a little disenchanted, and then kind of did Livnot and really reconnected. And so I'm very grateful for that. I'm really happy to be experiencing this today.
Okay. Yeah, Mayor.
How about Lecha Dodi?
Okay. Oh, what's that?
Thank you. Gosh, really beautiful. A great way to go into Shabbat, a great way to go into Rosh Chodesh Elul. Great way to welcome the angels. Aaron, thank you for putting this all together.
Thank you very much, everybody. Listen, we're, of course, we want to take in Shabbat, and it's great to see you all. And I'd really like to hear responses of how we perfect this and get a lot more people on. This time we didn't post it till really late, and so we see that I mean, we're really happy that 22 people came on, but that's really a drop from last week. So we have to make sure that we advertise this a little bit more. I'm sure a lot of people are like you and would like to have your Shabbat experience come back a little bit, to re-energize your neshamot, your souls. Okay, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Eyal, thank you very much. Thank you to Shachar.
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom, Michael Ebenesh,
Quick
Toda
question,
Rabah.
hi, I'm so sorry, before you go, when Noam had to run away, because his wife was, I think, having a baby, right? A couple of weeks ago. So what did she have? Boy, girl, healthy, beautiful baby?
What, Yifat?
No. Remember Noam, the one who was playing the guitar or something, and then he had to leave and...
Oh no, she didn't give birth yet. She didn't give birth yet. She was just for observation in the hospital for a couple of days.
Okay. As long as
I want to thank very much Michael and Yedida and Ayal and Ayal's friend for playing. Thanks for going right up till Shabbat. Okay. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbat Shalom. Shalom.